Picture this. You are a busy professional, staring down a massive inbox at your desk. It's 8:30 in the morning. You have a cup of black coffee in one hand, and a breakfast sandwich you grabbed on the way in with the other. You find yourself caught in a classic dilemma. If you skip this sandwich, what happens? Are you going to ruin your metabolism? Or is pushing through that mid-morning hunger actually the secret to finally breaking through a stubborn weight loss plateau? Today we are decoding the science of intermittent fasting, or IF. This is a subject surrounded by a lot of noise and aggressive marketing, but the biology is elegant. By drawing on clinical data from medical journals and neurological research, we can debunk the myth that skipping your morning meal is inherently dangerous. Before we get into the heavy science of what happens inside your cells, we have to address a deeply ingrained psychological barrier: the fear of skipping a meal. We have been told our entire lives that breakfast is the most important meal, but that was largely a product of 20th century cereal marketing. Consider the experience of researcher Mayo Ocean. His initial skepticism was rooted in this cultural conditioning, assuming that missing a meal would mean total physical shutdown. After adopting a classic 16:8 time-restricted eating schedule, fasting for 16 hours and eating during an 8-hour window, his first takeaway was that IF is not starvation. It is a conscious, healthy lifestyle decision that simplifies your morning, removes the friction of meal prep, and frees up cognitive space for meaningful work. Now, you might wonder about the common warning that your metabolism will slow down if you don't put food into the furnace. But the body is smarter. The entire mechanism hinges on the hormone insulin. Think of insulin as a one-way turnstile for energy storage. When you eat, especially carbohydrates, your pancreas releases insulin to take glucose from your bloodstream and push it into your cells to be stored as fat. As long as insulin is elevated, that turnstile is locked in the storage direction. Your body simply cannot access its stored body fat. In a modern eating pattern where you have sugary coffee, a snack, and lunch, insulin is constantly elevated. You never flip the turnstile the other way. But when you fast for 12 to 16 hours, insulin levels plummet. This drop is the metabolic key. It removes the chemical block. It allows an enzyme called hormone-sensitive lipase to release stored fat from your cells, so your body can burn it for energy. It is important to distinguish this from religious fasting like Ramadan. For health, the consumption of water and non-caloric beverages is highly encouraged. The goal is metabolic rest, not dehydration. Keeping your system hydrated allows the biological machinery to function without added stress. So, what happens inside the body when that digestive engine is turned off? It involves the production of ketone bodies. This isn't just for extreme zero-carb diets. Ketones are produced simply by pushing breakfast back. Comes down to how your liver stores sugar. Your liver holds a reserve of glucose called glycogen. It acts like a secondary battery, providing energy when you aren't eating. After about 12 to 16 hours of fasting, that reserve is depleted, and the liver must pivot to keep the brain fueled. It starts breaking down fatty acids and converting them into ketone bodies, specifically beta-hydroxybutyrate, a superfuel for your system. These ketones are water-soluble, meaning they easily cross the blood-brain barrier. The brain actually thrives on them as an incredibly clean-burning fuel. Research from PLOS highlights that when the brain runs on beta-hydroxybutyrate, it triggers a significant boost in BDNF, or brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Think of BDNF as a highly specialized construction crew inside your brain. This crew goes to work promoting neurogenesis, the literal growth of new neurons. They build new highways between isolated regions of the brain and strengthen neural plasticity, enhancing how quickly you process information. This explains why people like Mayo Ocean document a massive, sustained improvement in focus and deep work capacity during their fasting window. This process even clears out toxic proteins, offering neuroprotection against degenerative conditions like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. While the brain is rewiring, the rest of the body is undergoing a night shift cleanup known as autophagy, which literally translates to self-eating. When your cells are constantly bathed in nutrients, they focus entirely on growth. But growth is messy. Cells accumulate damaged parts and old mitochondria. Fasting introduces a mild stress. The lack of incoming nutrients flips a biological switch, suppressing growth pathway mTOR and activating energy sensing pathway AMPK. The cell forms a double membrane called a phagophore that acts like a biological net, sweeping through the cell and enclosing debris into an autophagosome. This then merges with a lysosome, filled with acidic digestive enzymes that break the junk down into basic amino acids for reuse. The cell then uses those recycled building blocks to construct brand new, highly efficient parts. This fundamentally reduces systemic inflammation inside your body. This process is recognized as one of the most powerful anti-aging mechanisms we possess, effectively hitting the reset button on your biological age. For those who have hit a weight loss wall, more aggressive variations like alternate day fasting or ADF can push metabolic flexibility even further. This involves eating normal maintenance calories one day and restricting intake to about 500 calories the next, cycling your body's energy demands. Studies show this can yield a significant reduction in body weight in just weeks, specifically targeting visceral fat, the dangerous fat surrounding your organs. Interestingly, ADF and if preserve muscle mass better than traditional daily calorie restriction, keeping your metabolic engine strong and capable. Evolutionarily, if our ancestors lost muscle every time they couldn't find food, they would become too weak to hunt and the species would have died out. To prevent this, when you fast, your body triggers a massive spike in human growth hormone, or HGH, acting as a biological shield. This HGH acts as a biological shield for lean tissue, preserving muscle while low insulin forces the body to burn fat for fuel. However, fasting is a tool, not magic. You must still eat enough during your window to provide the essential nutrients your body needs. In his second year, Mayo Ocean lost significant muscle because a back injury stopped him from lifting, paired with a detox that tanked his calories. Fasting controls when you process energy, but the amount and quality of that energy still dictate your physical reality and health outcomes. If your final meal is high in refined carbs, you will have an insulin spike followed by a crash, triggering a wave of ghrelin hunger. To prevent this, focus your final meal on high-quality protein and fibrous vegetables, which slow down digestion and stabilize your blood sugar through the night. Hydration is also vital, as the brain often misinterprets thirst as hunger. Drinking water can often silence those early morning hunger pangs. You can also use fasting mimetics, compounds like caffeine EGCG, and curcumin that mimic fasting effects without providing any calories. These compounds actively trigger the AMPK pathway, chemically signaling to your cells that energy is scarce, ramping up the autophagy process. But remember, these cheat codes won't save you if your sleep is broken. Poor sleep elevates ghrelin and decreases leptin, making you crave calories. Prioritizing 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep is non-negotiable for stabilizing hunger and aligning your biology with the planet's natural rhythms. Human beings evolved to digest food during daylight. Late-night eating destroys this alignment and creates metabolic friction that drives obesity. When you eat a heavy meal right before bed, your core body temperature stays elevated because digestion produces heat, preventing deep rest. Your pancreas is pumping out insulin exactly when your brain is trying to release melatonin for sleep. This metabolic friction is a major driver of obesity. By cutting off intake by 7 p.m., you allow your temperature to drop and insulin to frontline, significantly improving the quality of your REM sleep. Fasting even reshapes your gut microbiota. Our gut is dominated by two major families, firmicutes and bacteroidetes, each playing a different role. Firmicutes are highly efficient at extracting calories from sugar. If they dominate, you absorb more calories from the same plate of food than others. Constant grazing on processed carbs feeds these bacteria. A 16-hour fasting window essentially starves them out, creating a healthier internal balance. This allows bacteroidetes, associated with leanness and metabolic health, to thrive, helping you process energy more efficiently in the long run. It also increases beneficial bacteria like Eubacterium hallei, which produce fatty acids that protect the gut wall and reduce systemic inflammation. A quick safety check. Fasting is a stressor and is not for everyone. Adolescents, children, and pregnant or breastfeeding women should avoid it. Anyone with a history of eating disorders should approach it with extreme caution, as the rigid timing can trigger unhealthy psychological patterns. Intermittent fasting is a lifestyle shift to counter our modern environment of 24/7 food abundance. We live in a state of uninterrupted feeding. Time-restricted eating is an accessible tool to restore our default biological settings, aligning our bodies with ancient survival mechanisms. We developed incredible mechanisms like ketosis and autophagy that require periods of emptiness to activate and heal the body. Maybe the ultimate health hack isn't finding a new superfood, but discovering the healing power of what we can purposely subtract. If you want to test the waters, don't jump into a 16-hour fast tomorrow. Start by delaying your breakfast by 2 hours and observe. Next time you wonder if skipping that sandwich is okay, remember, you're not starving, you're just letting the night shift finish cleaning the building. Master your metabolism, embrace the vacancy, and unlock a clearer, stronger version of yourself. Your journey to cellular health starts now.